don't remember if it was a blog or a video or whatever, but the person saw someone say that and assumed that as being true, and that became a belief, a core belief. So they immediately rejected what could be a very powerful opportunity, limiting their potential because they didn't have an open mind. So having an open mind obviously doesn't mean being silly and falling for things that are just stupid. That's not what I mean. What I mean is considering the possibilities, understanding that we all, me included and all experts included, know very little of what there is to know in the internet marketing space and the business space. So eventually, if you have an open mind, you can come up with ideas. If you have a mind that's free to be creative and think about things and see one thing here and another thing there and then see how they connect, you're going to be able to create a much better business environment for you. And you're going to tap into things that you wouldn't with a limited mind. So beliefs are bad for you here and you have to get rid of them. It doesn't mean that you're not going to learn from your own experiences. So if you run campaigns on Outbrain, for example, and you have issues with bots, then you know that if you're going to run campaigns there again, you need to have an anti-fraud system in place with a tracker or something to prevent from bots. Or you know that perhaps you want to focus on another one that has less bot issues. Not saying that Outbrain has bot issues, just an example. So you learn from your knowledge, but you do not create beliefs that sometimes become even irrational and that limit your possibilities. And the fourth element of the Maverick mindset is positive thinking. And this is important because when we are in business, but now talking more specifically about digital business, but it's business in general, like when we're talking about money in general, and it's actually something that comes before money, like it's a natural law. It's something from really from the nature, is we are dealing with risk. Because risk and potential, they walk together hand in hand. One doesn't exist without the other. And you can think about like the stock market. The stock with the highest growth potential is oftentimes the one with the highest risk as well. And a stock that has very little risk, that's very solid, it normally offers very little upside as well. So basically, you're not going to lose money, but you're not going to make money either. So this is how it works. And like this is the reason why sometimes people take big risks, because they do it for the reason. No one takes a big risk for nothing. They do it because there's huge potential. So if you think about like the richest man in the world right now, many of them have taken huge risks. If you think about Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, whatever you think about them, you don't have to like them, but just thinking from a technical point of view, like all of them, Zuckerberg, they've taken massive risks. And now they are enjoying huge potential. It's pretty reasonable to assume that some others, like who have taken the same level of risk, are now totally destroyed, and we haven't heard of them. It's possible. We know the successful ones. That's why risk is called risk, right? But that's where like potential comes from risk. So, and years ago, I saw something, an interview, an article, something I don't remember exactly about Bill Gates, where he said that we have to always be prepared for taking risks like entrepreneurs, but controlled and measurable risks. So we need to understand the risks we're taking, basically. So when you are in business, you will always need to take some risks. So people think, oh, what if I invest money in this campaign and it doesn't return? Well, that's a possibility. Start with understanding that that's a pretty clear possibility. Sometimes people ask me how they can find a winning campaign with no testing. And what I have to tell them is, I don't know, perhaps try to consult with a fortune teller or a mystic guy who can see the future, and he's going to tell you which one is because as a marketer, such a thing doesn't exist. If you look at even marketing campaigns by huge brands, like Coke, Ford, and many others, like they sometimes get it wrong. They make mistakes. Some of their campaigns are very successful and others not so much. And it's part of it. You never know until you give it a try. Fortunately, you don't have to invest millions of dollars to test your stuff. You can sometimes test a campaign with $50, $100. So, but this is how it works. There's always a risk and a potential. If you understand your risk, yes, you may run a campaign that doesn't work. You may run 2 or even 3 campaigns that don't work, but eventually you're going to tap into the potential. And this is what I am with Traffic Mavericks, to give you the right strategies and process so that you can be sure that in spite of having some failures and sometimes tapping into the risk, which will happen, you will also for sure tap into the potential if you just stick with the process. So because this is something that will happen and you will eventually find a winning campaign, positive thinking is very important. Because if you're optimistic, you're not going to see like a failure as a failure. You're going to see a failure as one less failure. Like if statistically, if you need to run 4 campaigns to find a winner, for example, and you run 1 campaign and it's a loser, instead of getting frustrated, see it in a positive way. Okay, now I just have other 2 losers before I find my winner. And that's the worst case scenario. It could be even better. Perhaps the next one will be the winner. And if it fails again, okay, now it's just 1 more failure before my winner. So let's go for it. It may sound silly to put it like this, but this is positive thinking. It creates motion in life and in business. It creates action. It makes we keep moving and keep aiming at our goals without distractions. And that focus is what ultimately leads to success. So these are the 4 elements of the Maverick mindset. Number 1, it has to be action-oriented. Number 2, it has to be focused on opportunities. Number 3, it has to be an open mind. And number 4, positive thinking. And If you put all these 4 components together, you're going to have a Maverick mindset, which, trust me, is an unbeatable mindset in marketing. It's what will make you successful with this program and with any other program you use in the future, because you will have what it takes to succeed. And programs will help you. They will give you information. They will provide you with strategies and methods that can help you potentialize your success and make it more reliable and make it more scalable. But everything starts inside you, and with the right Maverick mindset, I am sure that you will be prepared to become highly successful in the online marketing space. All right, so thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you again in the next one.